From pillar to post and coast to coast, I am Tony Pope, and you're watching Hardcore. We have updates on Europe and the new Prussia situation, mounting tensions in the former Soviet Union, Senia, and even more news right here at home in the good old US of A. So sit back, pucker your sphincters, and get ready, because it's going to be wall-to-wall news just like you like it. Yeah, all right, so let's start with New Prussia, the bane of my existence, the wart on my posterior. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the new Prussian government is moving forward with their space program and building on the moon. Let's say that again to the people asleep in the back, building on the frickin' moon. And the United States isn't even trying to strong-arm these wannabe deviant Razzies into backing down. They threw the ball back into the United Nations court. Can you believe this crap? We need the United States and our allies to stand up to these bullies and tell them under no uncertain circumstances that if they don't get in line, we're going to nuke them right off the map. No lube, just push the big red button and end them. These deviants are going to be a major problem soon. Mark my words, a major problem. Moving on to an interesting sidebar. Remember when the Legacy showed back up after a few months and said, hey, other dimensions are real. Here's Satan and his crew. Enjoy. Remember that? Turns out they may not have been wrong after all. I found a paper floating around from someone by the name of Dr. Carmen Cook. Did I get that right? Yeah, Dr. Carmen Cook looks like she has her PhD in energy and particle physics. Anyways, she wrote this paper that has the science nerds absolutely buzzing. I have that paper right in front of me, and I'll admit it's a bunch of gobbledygook to me, but from what the science geeks are saying, what's in the paper is life-altering stuff. Other dimensions are real. Of course, if you're a fan of this show, you knew that already. We reported on the conspiracy within the government to hide this information from you, Joe Q public, for years now. But this nobody doctor strolls out, finds a journal to publish her works in, and voila. But this raises another real issue, a major issue. How in the hell are we going to police interdimensional aliens? How? I mean, we can't even get major corporations to stop dumping the leftover pharmaceuticals into our water supply, making all of the frogs gay. Do we just call the Justice Legion and say, hey man, we know you're busy with saving the world and all, but can you police our dimensional borders too? Thank God, and I mean this, thank God we have the Sentinels of Liberty, Battle and Bell, American Sentry, Yankee Girl, and the Shield. Absolutely wonderful human beings. I mean, you know it's serious when the Shield comes out of retirement to lead the charge against all of the weirdness that these deviant chumps and uneducated SPBs keep dumping on us. The Shield and Yankee Girl, both World War II veterans, having fought against the German regime. I mean, they are exactly what we need for this country right now. You won't ever hear me speak poorly of the Justice Legion. Hell, the Shield helped form that group way back in 1956. Prince Tidebreaker, Monarch, the second American Sentry, the lovely Miss Fury, and good old Flagman. And even though he almost always flew solo, Electrum was always there to save the day the right way. Not like these clowns nowadays who throw on a mask and think they have what it takes. Speaking of heroes in the news, check this out, folks. The Southwest All-Stars wound up clashing with longtime foes of Electrum, the Blood League. While details are sparse on what exactly they were up to, it's always no good, folks. The Blood League apparently were laying siege to a government facility on the outskirts of Dallas, Texas. Oddly enough, they were short one member. Local media outlets made mention that Bitter Shadow, also known as Dr. Andrea Gauthier, was nary to be found. Constant Connie, the outsourcer, Miracle Maiden, and their leader, Dr. Dynamo, managed to fend off the Blood League while also apprehending one of their members. You know him as the Red Butcher, that psycho with the magical butcher knife. But that's the point I'm making here by heaping praise on these local do-gooders. Unlike some groups like the Legacy, they aren't running around trying to play kingmaker around the world. I mean, look at the Angler for a moment. What the hell kind of a name is the Angler for a superhero? Does he have some magical ruler or protractor that he used to fight crime with? Wait, you mean he's supposed to be related to a fish? You have got to be kidding me. Here's a guy who rockets around the city like a wet fart, just looking for something to do, and when he finds it, he steps all over the toes of a real superhero like Sledgehammer. This corpo shill claiming to be a hero while making things worse for everyone around him. Didn't hang around to help clean up, didn't secure those robotic nightmares. I mean, holy crap, right? Isn't that superheroing 101? Maybe a real hero will fly by and slap the taste out of his mouth. I don't know. Anyways, enough of that rat bastard. Stick with us after the break, folks, as we uncover new ways you can help those deviants get rid of those powers and return to a normal, healthy life. And now a word from our sponsor, Koala Detour.
There
we go. We are back, and we are live once again with more Modern Age Heroes, Marvel Superheroes. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I need to edit the layout at some point to show off the new pictures that I had done. They are très cool. Oh, and I need to adjust.
The term is très cool. It's French.
You understand I'm a terrible American, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the precognition, I will just have to keep attempting.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I have got George lined up now a little bit better. I don't know why Streamlabs won't let me edit off the side when I have a split screen, so I get everything ready to bring over, but oh well. It's not like I haven't seen other games do it. In fact, that's how I figured out that you're able to adjust the screens. I was watching somebody stream once when I was really new to this, and I see them manually adjusting the dimensions of the screen, not just the whole camera, making it wider or smaller. I'm like, hey, how do you do that? And they're like, oh, well, you just do this, and that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Helpful. So.
Right.
Okie dokie. So, oops. I am not quite done. Just need to adjust something here on George's screen. That's what I thought. There we go. There we go. His mug right there, dead center. Cool. All right. Okay, so we've already got a recap going. You guys got the notes to work off of, so we can just go ahead and jump into game. But before we do, we have karma to roll.
Let's
So
go.
we don't have any birthdays this month, correct?
Not I.
Okay. Who is going to roll for karma this month?
Dun dun dun.
I'll roll it.
Okay. So everybody can blame Dale.
Sending you my new sheet.
Let's see here. Okay, so that's going to be 1d10. Yep, there we go.
Times 50.
Oh, rolled a 1.
All right.
Okay,
See, I
so
said
then
you could blame him. So
Yeah,
blame
you
him,
could.
admonish him.
Oh no. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's currently 5. Are we counting Pulsar as part of our team, or are we
Yes.
currently at 5? We are. Okay, cool. So we're back up to.
We'll just
6.
go ahead and just count that, and
Sweet.
it'll make sense later, George.
I just rolled just because
Uh-huh.
because I was like right before Dale said something, I was about to say like I will, and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
much better.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's see here. For
Can we use a reroll?
6 times 5, 3.
No, you may not.
Oh,
What good question.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that gives us 300 that we just earned for
We
the
spend
group.
karma.
We'll put 250 back into available, and then that means we got 50 back into banked karma. All right, so our available karma is back to 500, and our banked karma is now at since Brittany is spending her 5,000 right now. We're now at 1,795.
Wow.
yeah, and I'm gonna spend all of that. So yeah.
You guys done
So-
spent some karma.
You do realize that we do have the rule that you can spend it's upwards of 5,000 karma,
Mhm.
and you can spend it on multiple things.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought 2 skills,
Right.
but they were
so,
not
like,
they were not high skills. So
right. So like I bumped mine up to one of mine up to EX20 and one up to
Yeah.
to RM30,
same.
totaling 5,000.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. But if you had like TY6 skills or powers or something like that, you could. But if you had 5 TY6s, you could bump up 5 things to GD10,
Mhm.
making your. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Just so you understand that, Davey.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
in case. But
Okay.
hopefully you don't have 5
Okay, so
things. That are,
the
Oh,
rest, the
I
rest
have
of the
so many
team
things to buy.
is still in. I was getting ready to say Mother Prussia for some reason. Ugh.
Well,
Ha! Mother Prussia.
It's
Oh,
a
no.
cross. It's a
Nostradania.
It's a deviant cross between the Soviet Union and New Prussia. Uh-oh. Anyway, so you guys are still in New Prussia as of this point, where we pick up at game-wise. Let's see. Everybody had just concluded the experimentation, and I think I don't think anybody had gotten a chance to work on Davy yet, correct?
we had we stopped his problem of the overhealing.
Mm-hmm.
He got his new organs, and he just got his cyber arm, and so we were kind of waiting for him to recover and wake
Gotcha.
up from that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we ended it with my character taking the first shift of just sitting with him and watching him.
Gotcha. The heck happened? Okay. Happened on my cushion here for a second. I was like, where'd it go? My butt smushed it down. I know that's something all of you wanted to know.
Cool.
Yeah, I can sleep better at night now. Thank you.
Knowing is half the battle.
Yep.
Yes.
G.I. Joe.
We can put it in an editor's note, like in a comic.
Yes.
Jerome's butt.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just like on comic books, the little sidebar. See issue 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
The world is safe now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, at this point, everybody has already gone through a shift. If that's what you're doing, assuming you were watching Red Arsenal, making sure that he recovers. He hasn't really moved or done anything since the surgery and the part replacements. But the systems have been monitoring him. He is still stable and is recovering as of this point. Hyperion, when you finally go back in to look at his, well, actually, it wouldn't be you to look at his vital charts per se. Probably Lightbringer would do that since she's the designated medic. You're looking at the at whether or not he needs Jiffy Lube, and the you know, and all the mechanical parts that are going into him.
As long as it's not the vegetable oil.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
So, Lightbringer, you're looking
if he's
at
organic.
his medical charts, and he is stabilizing. He should actually be probably awake at any point now, since you've last checked on his charts. Since Hyperion doesn't have to sleep, he's been in there probably the most off and on, monitoring the devices that are connected to him to ensure that the cybernetics tick.
Who all is in here with us?
It's just you and typically 2 other staff members from the medical team, New Prussia medical team. So NPC
Okay,
1 and 2.
Wait, so me and Hyperion?
Hyperion would be in there occasionally, off and on, since he doesn't.
Okay,
sleep.
so just me.
For the time being, yes, just you.
Okay, then never mind. I will hold my action.
Okay. But Hyperion, eventually you would make your way back in, checking on the machine diagnostics, making sure that I don't want to say the computer chips, but in essence, the what are they called? The actuators and the internal systems of the cybernetics are checking out. Looks like they are going to work, and they are working in tandem with his nervous center.
Okay, good.
When you come in, Lightbringer is actually there just monitoring his vitals. One of the medical staff members is actually doing physical therapy on his body. Obviously, he's not awake yet, but they're moving his cybernetic arm, making sure that that it looks like it's still going to work, and that it's potentially tied to his body. Like if they could, since it's essentially tied to his nervous system. They're doing some basic tests like tapping it with a needle, that sort of thing, to ensure that there is sensitivity to it. It's not just a dead, senseless arm that responds to his mind. It's something he can actually feel with.
Right.
Obviously for safety precautions.
Yep.
Because if you don't know your own strength with the one arm, you could accidentally break things real easily.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, so Hyperion will be looking at that stuff and then look over to Lightbringer. Well, looks like he's doing well as far as taking to the cybernetics. Have you checked the rest of his body? Has he been holding up?
Yeah, he seems to be stabilizing, so that's a good sign. Who is this guy again?
I've heard that he is Red Arsenal, apparently another relation of ours. I haven't heard much else, of course, since I've been busy, but I haven't asked Ms. McCall about any particulars as of yet.
Oh, so she found him.
That's what I assumed, since she came here along with him in order to help rescue us from the Russian facility.
Oh, that's never a fun discovery for her, I'm sure. But it sure helped us out.
It did. The fact that he is not of this world as well, yet appeared human, is also interesting. I wonder if he was aware of his ancestry.
Guess we'll have a lot of things to ask him when he comes around.
We do. And Jerome, have I seen like his? I mean, clearly he was like wearing his armor, but have I seen like the weapons or the gear that like he was like Red Arsenal was carrying with him? Was that like put off to the corner or like put somewhere?
It's in like a locker. I mean, it's a bow and arrows.
Right. Okay.
It's a type of bow that, a decent bow that you might find at like Dick's Sporting Goods.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
like an actual. There's nothing like technically superior or like super special about it. It's just a bow.
Just a bow.
It's a nice bow.
I
Okay.
mean,
Ovodio bow.
So then he kind of looks over to like the locker that's containing his stuff and says, "If only we had been able to meet with him before his encounter with the Comintern, he would have been better equipped. The weapon he uses is clearly not going to be sufficient for the foes we're facing."
well, maybe we can work something out.
Have you heard about what all powers he may possess? Clearly he has the regenerative capability, but I'm not sure if there's anything else about him.
No, I'm not clear on any of that either.
Hyperion goes over and like takes a look at medical charts. Is there anything in the charts that would indicate like what Red Arsenal's capable of, or is this just like
This is
regular
New Prussia. Yeah, that's all there.
Stuff? Okay, cool.
Oh,
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I would have read his sheet. But
It's
maybe...
a part of it. Yeah, it's a part of his medical fitness record. They have ways of being able to tell, for the most part, with reasonable accuracy what he's capable of. So
Nice.
it's the high regenerative capabilities, as well as a powerful but unstable psionic capability.
Okay. And so he's looking at that like
On a chart from like 1 to 10, it looks like it's rated at like a 6.5
Ooh.
as far as like strength of what it can do.
Okay. Of psionic potential.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. All right. So he's looking at that like, seems as if he would actually be a very competent psionic, yet he chose to use a bow and arrow. Interesting. Looks like his control of it is unstable. I wonder if that can be used.
Maybe we can help him with that too. I mean, if anyone can, New Prussia training techniques could probably give us a good start.
True. Well, he seems to be stable for now. If you need to head back to rest, I can stay with him the rest of the time. I can see what I can do about what he's capable of. And if he wakes up, I'll let all of you know.
Okay, I'll go take a break then. And so Carmen will leave the room, but she will also put a request out to the guy that does her merchandising,
Mm-hmm.
that they need an action figure for Mr. Agadate in Transnistria.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay,
So
and
if that's still
yeah, so I mean the
possibility.
guy that your agent, in essence here, that handles that, he's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Are we making an action figure for this individual, or are we shipping off something to somebody?
No, my action figure for him. Well, I think it was for his daughter. Anyway,
And you want us to send it to Transnistria? Are you sure that's safe?
actually, I'll just have we could just drop it off or something. We'll mail it, maybe. Mailing sounds reasonable. Have post office there, right?
I believe they do have post office in Transnistria. I don't know how safe and reliable they are, however. The government there is very intrusive.
Yeah, tell me about that. Um, you know what? If I could just get an extra action figure, I'll just take it over there at some point.
Of course. Should I have
Drop it
somebody
off.
deliver it to your room?
Sure.
All right. It shouldn't be a problem. I'll go through our surplus of items, and I'll have it dropped off. Is it just the action figure, or
You know what?
are we
can we
giving them like the lunch pail and coloring
Can we
book as
just-
well?
Yeah, might as well. A little extra um, merch always, builds good rapport.
Certainly. I'll put together a package then, and have that sent to your room so you have it available for whenever you need it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Since we're on the topic, did you want any extra to take back home with you?
Sure. Guess it could come in handy.
All right.
Every now
But
and
then
then.
I'll make sure that we have a care package boxed up with some of your merchandise that you can do with however you please.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. And then she'll go back to her room and rest.
Okay.
Yes, Hyperion is just watching over Red Arsenal, making sure he's okay there. And then he will kind of like take a look at the bow and fiddle around with it, and like take a look at Red Arsenal, like kind of memorize his bodily dimensions and all of that to see if he can like figure out how best to help him. Are there any other like New Prussian techs or scientists that like kind of walk in on occasion or walk by?
Right now it's just the medics that are in here, but I mean, you
Okay.
could certainly ask for somebody.
Okay. Well, he'll go up to one of the medics and say, "Pardon me, I know this might not exactly be your field, but with you being a New Prussian, I was wondering, how much do you know about the psionic network that New Prussian forces are able to use? Have you ever dealt with that technology before?"
Oh, I am sorry, sir. I have not. That's actually one of our more top secret and proprietary devices. So those with the means are the ones that actually operate within that system, and I don't exactly have a need or means for that. So,
Would there be anyone I could go to see if I could gain clearance to take a look at that technology?
you would have to speak to the president directly.
I see. Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Then he goes ahead and heads back, makes sure that when he's in Red Arsenal's room, he's going to assume his Mark face, but of course he's still wearing the legacy armor.
Sure.
Yeah, he's just going to make sure that everything's good until morning time or until he wakes up.
Okay. Oh, and your contact, Brittany, I forgot. He does actually have a name, and it's Carl Allstott. I don't know if you had that written down. It did actually come up in game. He is the Minister of Entertainment.
Ooh.
So it's not really like an agent. You're actually talking to the guy who heads up everything, given who you are.
Would now
Could
be a
it
good
some kind of a government thing. So
You were saying, Davey?
would now be a good time to wake up?
I don't know. Roll your endurance.
Let's go. /MM.
No,
No.
/MM. That's going to be rough to make that roll because you have one too many 10-sideds.
Endurance IN 40. Oh, what did I do wrong?
Don't put a space and don't put the number. So just exclamation roll, capital I, capital N. Nice.
Green feet.
That's what the Hulk has.
Yep, that's why She-Hulk is on the picture.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you eventually start to come around and wake up. Your back is pretty stiff because you apparently been on a gurney the whole time.
Ooh. So he's just kind of like, and he's kind of like start moving his head around. How much pain is he in?
None currently.
Okay, so it's just like soreness then.
It's a little bit sore and a lot of drugs.
Oh, okay.
So when I see him like moving his head around, Hyperion will slowly walk over to his side, so he's standing next to the gurney. Like, Red Arsenal, correct?
And before he can respond, as he's kind of like looking up and around, getting his bearings, you hear,
Well, seems as if all of your systems are working properly.
Boom, 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 da, 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 da.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you still? Do you still have like my face on?
Not. So
it wasn't the face. Okay, I misunderstood.
So he's wearing his legacy armor. So you see him, and he looks human. Like if you've ever seen him on TV, you'd probably be able to recognize that it's Hyperion from the Legacy.
Ooh, can I make a roll for that?
against his popularity, yeah.
Okay. So what should I roll?
Dale, what is your popularity as Hyperion?
IN 40.
Nice. He is popular.
So roll IN 40?
Yep.
All right.
Yellow feet.
So
Hyperion?
you have heard of him.
From the legacy?
That's correct. Do you remember what happened to you before you fell unconscious?
Yeah, I got hit by a truck. Oh my god. There was this guy, Russian guy. We were going to save my brothers and sisters from a Russian prison, and he ripped my arm off. And he's gonna like look to his arm. I was like, "Oh, whoa,
Yes.
what? Wow, okay, that's whoa."
I did want to be here when you woke, that way I could explain what's been happening to you. As you see, the arm that was ripped off has been replaced. You now possess a cybernetic replacement, as well as replacement kidneys and pancreas, since they were destroyed as well in your battle. He did a significant amount of damage to your entire body, and we had to actually generate a new means of healing you in order to keep you stable. How are you feeling now?
A little sore. Just numb. I don't know. It's yeah. It's I'm just out of it.
Understandable.
So is Miss McCall around?
Jerome, is she still around the area, or did she go back?
Yeah, she hasn't left New Prussia. She's somewhere on the base.
Okay. She is nearby. We've actually been here for a handful of days, making sure that everyone who is injured has been healed, including you. You had the worst injuries by far. I'm glad the treatment worked.
Did we end up saving my family? I know we don't know each other yet, but apparently Miss McCall said that my real biological father is Electrum, and Electrum kids were in the Russian facility.
So she has explained it to you, yes.
Yeah, she had a little black book. It didn't have like my real. It had my foster family, but it didn't have like my real mom or dad. So
I see. Well, to answer your first question, yes, fortunately, your efforts, along with all of ours and Ms. McCall's, managed to save the rest of us from the Russian facility. First, let me thank you for your efforts. I know that you went through incredible hardship, but, well, technically, you are our brother. As you've noticed, I am Hyperion, leader of the Legacy. The others are actually sleeping now. It's still late at night.
oh, so the legacy is my family.
As Miss McCall sounds like she's explained to a degree, your father is the same as our father, Electrum. It
Oh,
appears that he took on multiple alternate identities at around the same time and fostered several families. For what exact purpose, we aren't exactly sure. But Ms. McCall has made considerable efforts to bring us together, believing that we need to be together to help since Electrum isn't here.
yeah. Where is he?
That's currently a mystery. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, oh. So there's like no like superheroes. Like he's not here.
With him being one of the most powerful superheroes of all time, unfortunately, no, he isn't. He is missing. We still don't know of his exact whereabouts. It's something we do plan on determining, but there's much else that needs to be done. We have a lot to catch you up on if you actually plan on staying with us. I wouldn't want to force you, seeing as what you've gone through must have been very traumatic.
I just found you guys. I'd like to stick around for a little bit at least.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
glad
mean,
that-
if I can help, I mean, I don't know. Can we do upgrades on cyber arms?
I can see what I can do with regard to your arm, whatever it needs to do. We can improve upon it. I would like to make sure that you can still move and that you're still functional, but it will take a little bit of time for the drugs in your system to subside so that you have full consciousness.
Okay.
At this point, I suggest you rest, allow those drugs to filter through your system, and in the morning when you wake naturally, I'll introduce you to the rest of the family.
All right. All right. Thank you, Hyperion.
Of course.
Are you like my older brother or younger brother?
We'll discuss that when you wake.
Okay. And he'll kind of like settle back down and like put his head back on the pillow, and kind of just go back to sleep.
So then Hyperion's going to make sure that all of the medical readouts aren't showing anything weird. And
Nope, it looks pretty stable.
okay, good. Then with that, he is going to head over to whatever type of laboratory or workshop that they've got going on and see what he can find out New Prussian knows about psionic energy and technology, so you can learn about that.
Okay. I'm going. I was going to say I'm going to have to. Yeah, I was going to say, Brittany. I was having trouble finding that particular note, but I was pretty certain it wasn't Transnistria. So thank you for finding that.
You're right. It is Moldova. He's from Moldova. I
Moldova.
found it thanks to the Discord notes.
Nice.
Okay, so you go and speak to somebody about psionics. You are directed to, let me see, 1 second. So you are directed to speak to Psych Out.
Okay. So I go find wherever Psych Out is.
So she is actually, when they, security has to actually walk with you to that particular area. You have clearance, but not like this kind of clearance. And they bring you to what in essence is just outside the Cyanet core, their communications hub. And you see that she comes walking out. Her hair has been cut short at this point to kind of like a the pointed bob look. She has a headband that kind of keeps hair back a little bit, giving it somewhat of that Katie Sackhoff look from The Mandalorian right now. A little bit. She's still in uniform, but relaxed a little bit. It looks like she just got off of shift. You might remember Psych Out. You actually met her briefly aboard the Königsberg back in Argentina.
Okay. So he walks up and, Psych Out. It's been some time since Argentina. How are you?
She says, I'm fine. I heard that your team was in town. Didn't say specifically what was going on. She looks at the guard. She says, it's all right. You can go at this point. And they nod and give a salute and walk off to back to their posts.
Okay.
She says, "What was there something I could help you with?"
I know that New Prussia has made some strides with regard to understanding psychic power and potential and using technology to manipulate that. I was wondering if you'd be willing to allow me to learn what New Prussia knows about it. I wanted to do something for our brother who's recently awoken.
That would require some special clearance. Um, I know that you're in contact with our president. Maybe we can speak to Ms. Worthington, and she can forward up the request. Miss Worthington is our Minister of Science and Technology.
I see. Whatever needs to be done. I don't need to sleep, so I have all the time we need.
Oh, that's right. You're not exactly human. I keep forgetting that. All right. Yeah, let me. I'll take you there, and I'll let you. If she's in, obviously you can speak with her, and I'm sure she can give you the rundown, whatever with whatever access you might have, and if there's something we can do to assist. So,
Excellent.
she says, "So how is the team?"
Well, much has happened, but fortunately, we've all been able to come together. And at this point, we're all safe and have healed. Much has been learned, but there's still much to be done. I know that New Prussia is still in their entanglement with the Russian activity. That's a part of what we were trying to entangle ourselves with as well, but unfortunately we weren't as successful as we wanted to be.
There's scuttlebutt going around the base that you managed to hijack some sort of satellite, so it sounds like it was probably better than you're giving yourself credit for.
True, we did manage to take their locator network, but at the same time there were others who we weren't able to save. Perhaps I am being hard on myself. I'm simply trying to be as effective a team leader as I can.
Fair enough. I can't say I'm a team leader, but I mean I get it. And she's walking you through the basically you stepped from pretty close to the most one of the most top secret areas that they have on the facility, and as you're walking out from that military installation, you're moving into more of the political side of things, where the offices and and administration aspects of the, I don't want to say facility, but of the government and whatnot. And as she approaches, as you guys are walking down a hall, and she approaches a separate wing of the ministry, she says, she introduces herself, Melissa Conroy, aka Psych Out. I am here with our guest. We wish to speak to Minister Worthington. And they kind of look back and forth because they're sitting, one of them's sitting at a desk, the other one's a guard kind of posted up. And he says, "Do you have an appointment?" She says, No, but the president has seen that this individual here is an honored guest, so that sort of supersedes that, don't you think? And he kind of thinks for a second, and then he's like, "Well, let me just check for security clearance purposes." And she says, "No, go right ahead." And he stops, and he's you would think in this particular instance, like they'd pick up a phone and call it in. Mm-hmm. No, they've got Signet, so they're they kind of pause for a second, and it looks like they're just kind of focusing off into nothing. And he says, "All right, looks like there is security clearance for this. So you know the way, Ms. Conroy?" And she says, "Thank you."
And Imperial also says, Thank you. Much appreciated.
So as you are, again, this is more of an administration. So think not White House per se, but that sort of look.
Okay.
Great pains have been taken to make this look not military. Far more accommodating, nice clean white walls, nice, firm carpeting, but not the cheap stuff. There are paintings and fixtures every so often as you go, little end tables with decor and some plants and so on and so forth. So it looks way more, I won't say attention to detail, but way more accommodating and cozy in that sort of feeling. Kind of like you're more a highly sought after executive for a high tech firm kind of feel, as opposed to anything military.
Okay. Nice.
And as you come approaching the office, of course, there are two guards posted there as well. She, just nods. They, give like a knock, open up the door, and come in. And it's a pretty big, executive office. There are a couple chairs here, nice, oak furnishings, as well as a big, as Cruther Polly might say it, Brobdingnagian desk.
Cool.
And she happens to be sitting at it, but was on the phone at that point with one of their cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And she sets it down and she says, you may go, psych out. And then she nods politely and turns on her heels and exits. And she says, should I call you Mr. Hyperion? Hyperion? I don't know how you wish to be addressed.
Very thoughtful of you. Hyperion will be fine. For you, would you be minister, or do you prefer some other title?
She says, we can keep it to Ms. Worthington if you would like.
Excellent. Well, thank you for seeing me, Ms. Worthington. I've been told that you're the one to see if I wanted to learn about your country's understanding of psionic power and technology.
Yes, it actually falls under my purview of Minister of Science and Technology, so that would be correct.
Excellent.
What was it that you were looking to get out of this exchange?
You may be aware already of an agreement that we have with New Prussia through your president with regard to us developing technologies here that would then be shared with New Prussia.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I was wondering if I could learn something about, well, psionics. There are actually a few members on my team who possess that type of potential, and one we've just received. And I believe that I have a better understanding of it. I'd be able to better equip them and help them with any difficulties or needs they have in that regard.
I see. Given that the properties of psionicists are a rare find and much of the technology is experimental, I am hesitant to give access out or to our let's just say look at our notes while everybody is taking the test of life. But I am not, how should I put this? I'm not opposed to a trade or a work some sort of a deal beyond what we currently have.
A quid pro quo for the information I'm looking for, then?
Correct.
What would you like in exchange?
Well, we would like access to this satellite network that you have come into possession. We don't need your satellite network. We need access to it to probe it, to possibly duplicate it for our own means. You can keep it. We don't need to hijack it or steal it from you.
I see. Might I ask if you know, if your clearance is high enough to know, what exactly the new Prussian government would be using that type of technology for?
The only one who has higher access in this world of ours is the president. As far as my position is concerned, it's my duty to know. So, in this particular case, there are still a great many issues with the Russian government, as well as some of their crony allies in this particular region. There's only so much that our intelligence agencies can do to track these individuals down. And while I am not casting any aspersions, I am aware that your team was given the opportunity to attempt to handle this months ago, and unfortunately failed to do so. So I believe without having Mr. Jurgen or President Albrecht expressly indicate this, he wishes to take more of a direct hand, at least in the regional matters where that's concerned. There are still a great many deviants out in this particular area, especially within the wilds of Siberia, that remain unaccounted for and could have quite possibly disappeared. From what I understand, our defense force is attempting to get what information they can out of the refugees that you did help rescue out of the prison. But that's slow going, obviously.
I see. Well then, it sounds like you simply need physical access then. Do you have the means then to actually inspect one of the satellites or bring one of them down to reverse engineer the technology attached to it?
We do have the capability of well, we would have to develop the technology to relaunch it, but we do have the technology to bring it down safely.
I agree to this exchange. I will make sure that our computer system designates one of the satellites in orbit that's closest to New Prussia, so it's easiest for you to obtain.
Excellent. She says, then, what is it specifically you're looking for through the access to psionic development?
Understanding the nature of psionics itself, that way I can produce technology that can manipulate it, amplify it, or redirect it towards other ends. I have had theories that, per Cook's theory of interdimensional relativity, there are many different symmetries in the universe, one of them being particle symmetries. I know that New Prussia has already experienced tachyons and arcane particles. It's my hypothesis that these are some of those supersymmetrical particles, and perhaps that psionics is governed by its own fundamental particle as well. If that's the case, then it can be better understood and technology can be made to handle it with greater accuracy, like what you have here.
Understood. I don't foresee an issue with that, as long as we are keeping with the the tit for tat of the agreement. Then I think it is fair to say that we both agree that such technologies developed would not be used against one another.
Of course. We bear no ill will towards New Prussia, and of course we do everything we can to help those in need across the world. As you mentioned earlier, not to a perfect success, but we do what we can.
Well, she says nobody is perfect, not even our great and fearless leader, president. But be that as it may, I don't foresee this being an issue then, since you are willing to trade something of such value and allow us the capability of replicating this technology. So if you are in need, I can then reactivate Lightbringer's security clearance, and she can actually show you where our R&D facility is at, as she's been there before.
Excellent. Once I have the correct satellite designated, I'll provide its coordinates to you.
Excellent. And so she extends her hand.
Go ahead and shake it.
It's a pleasure doing an informal business with you.
Likewise. He goes ahead and turns and starts walking out, and as he's walking out, he goes ahead and subvocalizes to Helios to locate one of the locator satellites closest to being above New Prussia to make sure it's ready to be taken out of the network by New Prussian forces.
Affirmative. We'll begin tracking and should have that information available to you inside of 30 minutes.
Thank you, Helios. He goes ahead and what time is it in New Prussia right now?
We'll say at this point it is first thing in the morning right now. It's probably close to 8 a.m.
Okay. So he'll head back to like where everyone's sleeping, and he'll wait for them to get up.
Okay. Alrighty. So, George, after you, where we left off with you is you had helped the. Second, I even have to get their name pulled up.
Let's see.
Was the here we go.
The Southwest All Stars?
Yep, Southwest All Stars. So you had just helped the Southwest All Stars bring a stop to the recorders that were rampaging around downtown Strongford. They have actually remained on scene to start cleaning up the mess that was caused from the conflict. Are you remaining on scene as well, or are you fleeing away?
No, I told them that I would stick around to help with
Okay.
the cleanup because I did cause probably more damage than I expected. But
Craters?
Yeah. I need to work on that.
Did I do that?
I'm just interstellar Urkel.
with your energy superhero pants pulled up way above your belly button. But at this point, a little bit fast forward. Obviously, there's still damage. Repair crews are gonna have to come in and fix that. But a lot of it that could be repaired has been repaired thanks to your help, as well as the Southwest All Stars. As they are busy, like they work like they've worked together already. And when they get to this phase of what it is they do, nobody asks what to do. Like they've all got something to do. They're answering questions. Or they're getting people away from the scene. They are doing things like helping trucks in the facility, nearby that are needed for cleanup, like get past the traffic, where the police have kind of cordoned things off. So they're like bringing them over, and Dr. Dynamo has got these. Has got the big vambraces that are vambraces, I should say, that are on his arms. Like he'll press a button on one, and you'll see something go off, and it starts scanning, some of the the damaged area, and then he'll press another one, and the other one comes up, and it's basically laying out and relaying information to him of like where is structurally sound and what needs to be reinforced while they're waiting. And so he's like in the process of doing that with his super strength and whatnot. And as he's doing that, he looks over to you as you're kind of like, what can I do? Do you have large rock I can pick up? And he's just like, he says, I don't recall catching your name again, friend. Who are you exactly?
You can call me Pulsar.
Well, Pulsar, thank you again for the assistance and helping us with these robotic nightmares. You do seem a little brash with your actions, if you don't mind me saying so, or are you new to this?
Yeah, you could say this is my first day. Why are you laughing at me?
That's the ST laughing.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah. He says, no, that is, we all start someday, with any hope. You just seem to start off with more power than I have seen in many beginners. Are you connected to any team, or do you know anybody that's already doing this that I might have a word with or direct you to?
Jerome, out of character, like I don't, right? It's okay. Yeah.
You have your mentor, but he doesn't know anything about humanity per se.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll just reply, and the whole time I'm not revealing my face at all.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'll say yeah. A little guidance would be appreciated. I want to I want to utilize this as best I can, but yeah, having a good, having someone who could show me the ropes would probably be appreciated.
Oh, well, I don't see that being being that big of a deal. He hands you a card, like he presses another button on the on his wrist, and out a business card comes out. And he says, we are, I don't know if you overheard, but we are the Southwest All-Stars. We are usually based out around Texas, so we're a little out of range from where we tend to operate at. But I am Dr. Dynamo, and he kind of motions around to the rest of the team. We're still in the middle of doing something. He says, that's Miracle Maiden, and she kind of does one of these numbers as she's helping to clean up, and that's Constant Connie, and one of her duplicates turns around and waves, and goes and keeps helping out nearby. And he says the individual who looked like they probably hopped out of a Dick Tracy novel, and he hears this, hey! He says, I'm kidding, it's quite all right. He says, that's the outsourcer.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of nod in acknowledgement to each of their like kind of waves over to me. And I'll turn to the doctor, and I'll say, you all operate as a well seasoned unit. How long have you been working at this?
He says, I've been at this the longest. I've been doing this about 15 years now. He says, but we've officially been a team. And he kind of thinks for a second, and Miracle Maiden, chimes in from, way above at this point, and says, 9 years now. He says, we've been together 9 years as a team.
Wow, that's impressive. You said you're usually based out of Texas. Like, what brings you to Colorado?
He says, actually, these monstrosities, and he shows you the remains of one of the robots that you helped fall. He says, we first picked up on these out in Amarillo, and then we've been slowly tracking some of their progress all the way up to here. But they seem to be connected somehow. I postulate that it's perhaps some sort of a hive mind that they're operating a part of. And they seem to be rising up with a steady degree throughout the United States. So this is our most recent stop.
I see. That's definitely troubling. Um, so you all are following the trail. Does the trail lead to here, or is it too soon to tell?
It's too soon to tell, but this is where it has stopped off at. I don't know if this is the point of origin or if we're going to be going further, but it is something we're trying to look into since it started off in our hometown.
Okay.
Since you're new, you probably haven't heard of it, but have you been to Olson's yet?
What is that?
He leans in a little bit and he says, it's a place where suits like us can put our boots up.
Oh, no, I haven't heard of it.
I didn't think you had. Well, I'll tell you what. And he presses down on his bracer again, and another card comes out. This one's blank. He takes a moment, reaches into a pocket and clicks on a pin, and he kind of holds out his arm like this and puts the thing down so he can write on a reasonably flat surface. He says, "Take this," and he says, "If you can go here and find this location, it is pretty hidden for obvious reasons. It's again not a place for the normal citizenry of the world, but more like folks like you and I. Perhaps you can stop by Olson's at some point and maybe find somebody who could mentor you or something."
Okay. Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate that.
Well, not a problem. Well, Pulsar, we're about done here. He says, so it was nice meeting you, and hopefully we don't have to meet like this again.
Yeah, I don't have a business card that I could hand you, but yeah, hopefully, I mean, I'll probably be in the area for a bit, but yeah, if I see you again, I hope you'll treat me kindly.
He says, well, so long as you don't target me with one of those potholes that you seem to generate, I think we'll do quite all right.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, I can promise you that.
And he says, well, good luck to you, Pulsar. And he turns to wave to, some of the people who are still watching. And he says, and the rest of you take care, citizens. And they two of them hover up. And then you see the other two step onto like a metal disc that's on the ground. And then it kind of comes up into a craft. And the whole kind of, closes rotary shut, and the craft takes off.
Like, huh. I'm just kind of left standing there on the street. Just like look over at the crowd. Kind of do like one of like that number, and they'll just kind of take off.
Okay. You go flying up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. He's too new at this to know that, like, oh yeah, no, I should address the citizenry. Like, that seems so weird. So yeah, he's just gonna fly away.
Okay. And then you hear a familiar voice. Protector, have you? Are you sufficient? Do you have sufficient distance from the other individuals that you were around, the citizenry and the other heroes?
I could probably go a little bit further. Hold on, and I'll just kind of push it a little bit faster, just so I can kind of get out of range. Or I don't know that other group very well,
I
but
mean, you could fly straight up if you want, go higher into the atmosphere.
sure, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Take off like a rocket. And he says, "Now, do you have sufficient distance? Are you somewhere you can speak privately?"
I believe so.
He says, "The recording robots that you have managed to disable are remnants of the Dexamite Empire, a race that used to call this planet home thousands of years ago."
Okay, that sounds pretty bad.
That they are now waking up is puzzling, yes.
Okay. Uh, do we know anything more about them now that we've encountered them? Is there something, I don't know, can we pinpoint their location where they're waking up from?
Not currently, no.
Hmm.
Plate tectonics has caused a deviancy within the within the planet's makeup that is causing me difficulty tracking where their point of origin is, but it is nearby.
Okay. But you said plate tectonics, so it has something to do with the Earth. Would like if we were to go and research things like fault lines, would that be something that would aid in your being able to locate them?
It could, yes.
Okay. Well, that's something we should look into.
It should also be noted that the recorders, by design, are tasked with obtaining genetic material from the populace that of this planet and rating it according to a scale in which I do not have access to as of this point. My belief, however, is that they are attempting to genetically monitor the monitor the Terrans that are on this planet.
Okay, that doesn't sound good. Do I still have Jerome? Do I still have that uh, piece of the robot that I punched through?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I like kind of hold it up and just kind of like look over it and be like, "What do you make of this compass? Is there something you can analyze from this?"
That is a piece of the robot, and that is an alloy not found native to this planet.
But this isn't like a hard drive or anything.
Negative.
Okay. Dang.
But if you were to obtain some sort of device that could scan for this element that I could interface with, this might be a more accurate way to find their home base.
Okay. You wouldn't offhand know where I could find a scanner, would you?
One moment. I am detecting the potential for such a device at a location called Quantum Unlimited.
Quantum Unlimited. Is that a? I'm assuming this is not a store. This is probably a lab.
With that, you hear like as if somebody's tuning something in, and you hear a TV spot for Quantum Unlimited with like a voiceover, like "Here at Quantum Unlimited, we blah 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 blah," sort of thing. They market themselves for cutting edge technology, basically genetic marker monitoring, as well as a powers division that helps guide and control those SPBs with powers, and to assist them with their the makeup of their life. There's other things they do. They're also really well known for their, what do they call it, a quantum drive, which is a a cutting edge new technology called solid state drive.
Ooh, solid state.
Yes, which in '94 wasn't even really a thing at that point.
Yeah.
So basically, this particular piece of technology is would be equal to probably about 2010.
Mm.
So quite a few years ahead of its time.
So like a little bit better than like a floppy disk.
Yeah, a whole lot better than a floppy disk.
Oh, so like a zip drive.
Yeah, way better than a zip drive.
Nice. Remember CD rewritables? Oh boy.
Yep.
Uh,
Hey, I had a zip drive. Thank you. I had the external one.
I was too young. They had them in like elementary school and middle school. Like my parents, we didn't have a computer until middle school. But yeah, but like I'll ask Compass. Uh, so do we think that Quantum Unlimited is going to be able to help us, uh, or is Quantum Unlimited kind of a front? Because I don't know, it sounds a little shady.
Well, Compass, searches again and he says, I have found references to the country of Senia tied to Quantum Unlimited.
Hmm.
They are working with a financier by the name of Donovan Alexander McLaren. You actually know that name.
Donovan Alexander McLaren.
Yep, he was one of Senia's first Olympians to actually compete in the Olympics. He ended up competing in. But he was slated to compete in '84, but the world was the world at that point had reacted negatively to the news that Senia was using slave labor, i.e., deviants for their dirty deeds done dirt cheap sort of thing, and they were banned from the Olympics. In '88, that got relaxed. And he was able to I believe he was able to compete in 1988, and since then he has left Senia and has spoken out against what they do to anybody he can speak to. He actually resides in America now.
Oh, okay. So he's defected.
In a sort of way, it's a big deal for Senia because their first major corporation was from his family, the McLaren Corp. So he's the heir to that particular fortune.
Right, and Quantum Limited is related to. So Donovan made Quantum Unlimited, or
No, he is a part financier of that particular company.
okay. So does this? Sorry, I'm still good. So is he? So is Quantum Unlimited like pro Senia or anti what Senia is up to?
Compass is suggesting they're probably anti-Senia, given their ties to Donovan McLaren.
Okay, well, that's a start. Right. I'm gonna kind of cross my arms in the atmosphere, just be like, I don't know how I feel uh, asking Quantum for help. Uh, even even being anti Cinia, like I think we can. It's definitely worth looking into. I can put it aside for now, but uh, I don't know. Don't expect too much, Compass.
The only thing that I am expectant of is that you are going to be this world's protector.
Oh, right. Okay.
There is a
Uh,
war coming.
Yeah, I should. Well, at the very least, I know. At least it's good to know that when the dice are rolled, at least I can do some damage. But I definitely need some work at this. Um,
Then perhaps you should reach out to this Quantum Unlimited.
all right. You know, it's not quite the compass. Are you like are you like a person, or is this just like I'm used to having chatter in the back of my head, but usually it's a superior officer. Are you
If
like
it
do,
helps, I am a superior being.
okay? But you do have a personality. Is it sometimes you're just a little computery?
That I do not take offense to this. Your language is not native to my being.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, that's okay. Just good to know. Sometimes it feels like I'm taking orders by like a computer, and it's I don't know. It's good to know that I can at least maybe talk to you a little bit more uh, familiarly, if that makes sense.
Do you require more emotionality?
No, uh, it's just good to know where we stand. This is still early days.
You are currently flying.
Right. Okay.
I do not understand the phrase of where we stand.
It essentially means like we understand what the dynamic is between us, and kind of what our relationship and how we address each other, all of that stuff goes.
Oh, I see. So you desire more familiarity.
It's more that I didn't know. I wasn't sure whether or not I was responding to a machine or what, but definitely uh, knowing that you do have a personality and that you are I can talk to you more like you are a person. It definitely makes it'll make this a bit easier.
Very well, then. I will attempt to access whatever devices that I can to ensure my fluidity with your language.
Uh, Thanks. Don't worry about it. I just yeah, no, sorry. I'm just getting more comfortable with all of this. You don't have to do anything crazy, anything different.
Very well, then. The request has been belayed.
Okay. Yeah, still sound like a robot. All right. Let's head to Quantum Unlimited then.
That sounds like an excellent choice.
Okay. I'll start flying my way towards wherever that is.
Okay. And then at that point, you end up seeing sort of like a little speck appear in your vision, and you
Uh,
see that speck kind of branch off a little bit, and then digits start, slow, rolling down, and you quickly realize, oh, hey, that's a viewfinder.
a viewfinder.
It's telling you where to go.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, is this a robot? Did they come from space? I thought it was
No,
like a meteor.
it's actually in your vision.
Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. It is it is like flying a jet in some ways. I'll, yeah, I'll just kind of follow it.
Okay, yeah. So you fly back down at this point into the city proper. There's still one helicopter at this point hovering over part of the city where you just had that big fight. You land at this really plush looking office building. It's got kind of like a modern design to it, this really cool roundabout up front where the people come in and out, and it's not just an office. It's an actual like if you were to go in here, they probably do development as well. Like it's a big building. You know, they treated it kind of like a home campus for all of what it is they do. There's a big kind of fixture out in the very front where the roundabout is at, that, you know, has like Quantum Unlimited written at the bottom. There's some people coming in or out. Looks like maybe they're changing off with shift or whatnot. They don't really bat much of an eye when you get nearby. I mean, they see you approaching. It's like, oh, huh, somebody new.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, downtown, it was like, oh, Super Bean, what a this. They're a little bit more kind of familiar with somebody with burning energy coming off of them, you know, coming near the building. It's like, oh, okay, it's a Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask if maybe I should like go someplace and then adopt my regular identity. But
I mean, you could do that, but then
yeah,
it might seem weird if you were talking about some of this stuff as your identity, you know, seeking the help.
yeah, that's true. And also I don't need them to see my face. Yeah,
There you
so
go.
I'll land and then I'll lower the jets, so to speak.
Okay.
Just
And then,
yeah, in terms of the fire, like
yeah.
I'm gonna
I
keep the
knew what you
mask
meant.
upbeat. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see two guys out front with, you know, clearly armed at this point. They have what appear to be like blue, kind of a blue and white uniform, similar to Shield, although we don't have Shield in this particular universe. And they have a logo on their chest, on their chest and on their arms that say Aegis Foundation.
Aegis. Okay.
And one guy holds up his arm at that point, and he says, "Hold on there, buddy."
Yeah, I'll just kind of stand like at attention.
And he says, "So, who are you, and what business do you have with Quantum Unlimited? You got an appointment?"
No, sir, I do not have an appointment, but I am here to possibly, uh, I guess, to either create one or to speak with somebody in charge. I require assistance.
And so he pauses a second, and he says, "Are you a native of Earth?"
Yeah, so to speak.
All right. Sorry, just had to ask the question. You seemed a little show me to your leader like. Just stay right there.
Yeah, no, it's less show me to your leader and more. I need aid with dealing with a problem that happened. There was an attack in the city earlier today, and I have information that could possibly aid in stopping future attacks. And I'm here at Quantum Unlimited in order to possibly secure that help.
And so they kind of like looked to one another, and just said, "Okay, it's the first I've heard of somebody coming to Quantum Unlimited for that sort of thing. But all right, just stay there, keep your distance, keep the flare down. You know, we've still got people coming in and out, getting off a shift. Don't want you to accidentally burn them. Let me call this in."
Okay, he'll like stand at ease.
Okay. And so then Hyperion, as you're kind of walking around at this point, yeah, in fact, you were just getting to the rest of the team to check on them, and you end up getting a call, and it's from Helios.
Yes, Helios.
"I have a call from Quantum Unlimited. It would seem your executive officer is indicating that there is a man in armor on fire standing out front, wishing to speak with our leader."
I see. Have they given a name for themselves?
Negative.
All right, then. Do they need to speak them in person, or do you know if over the phone would be sufficient?
I do not know. However, given the fact that this individual has presented themselves physically, perhaps a physical presence is warranted.
I see. Relay the communication to me. I'll speak as Mark and let them know I'll be there momentarily.
Very well. And so he patches it through, and you end up hearing, your executive officer come on the line. Mark?
Yes, Mark here. How's it going?
It's going all right. We've got a fiery guy out front of the building. He seems to be standing at attention, or like at ease or something. Maybe the guy's got some sort of military training or something. I don't know. We haven't gotten his name yet, but he has indicated he doesn't have an appointment, and he's coming to Quantum Unlimited for help with a threat downtown. Is that something we do now?
Not necessarily, but that is intriguing. Might be able to see if he can help us with the powers division. I'm assuming he's an SPB if he's got.
Oh, there's no
flames
mistaking
or...
it. There's no mistaking this, boss.
Okay. Well. And the issue downtown. I'm sorry I haven't been in town for the past few days. What was happening?
Oh, news said some giant robots went on the rampage, but it looks like from the news article, it looks like he helped stop it with the Southwest All-Stars.
I see. All right. Let him know that I can meet with him in the next 10 minutes. Go ahead and let him into the building and offer him refreshments if he needs.
All right, will do. And at that point, George, the guards let you in. They tell you, of course, you're going to wait out in the lobby. They keep the flames down. They've got plants, and of course people. And they tell you that the boss will be here in about 5 to 10.
All right. Thank you.
And they don't actually leave your sight. They actually stay there, given who you are, as well as a couple more of them end up showing up.
Okay. I'm just going to be as, I think he's going to just be kind of like looking at the new guards and be like, is this normal, a normal amount of guards?
As a standard operating procedure, sir.
Okay. And I'll just I'll wait where they kind of tell me to wait.
Okay.
But I'm just kind of looking around, but I'm trying not to be too aggressive. But I'll just kind of stand with arms behind my back, just kind of waiting.
So you are in the lobby. There's the lobby is open air. Like there's, it's enclosed because there's like a big skylight that goes over the top, but there's a fountain. There's a stairway that goes down past the fountain, beneath it. There's some tables and whatnot. Like the whole point of this lobby, it also serves as kind of a break area for people if they want to just get away from the office environment. There's a bunch of plants, really, really nice looking.
Okay. There's a Pizza Hut.
No, nothing like that.
Oh, there's no food court? Okay.
No food court. Okay. They do have a cafeteria though.
Oh, but no Pizza Hut in it.
Correct.
Oh, dang. We get sponsored by Pizza Hut.
So what are you going to be, what's his name from Mystery Men? Wearing all the patches because you're sponsors.
Right, yeah.
This rescue brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Captain Amazing. Captain Amazing.
No, but yeah, I'll just kind of wait patiently.
Okay. So back to everybody at New Prussia. So you, at this point, I mean, you had that call. You've got everybody around you, with the exception of
Right.
Red Arsenal.
And I take it everybody here is awake at this point?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then he addresses them, says, "Good morning, everyone. How did you all sleep?"
How did I
Muted.
sleep? Is this my first night with my nanites?
Oh yeah.
So how does this work now? How did this treat me?
When you sleep, you don't look like a puddle of goo.
All right. I was able to maintain my solidarity or solidity.
Excellent. Have you had any issues at all with your form since yesterday?
Not as of yet. I am curious to run experiments on myself. I may need some assistance. I would like to see what the durability is.
Given that you have such a high concentration of them throughout your body, that makes sense. You'll probably notice that your overall body weight has increased too, so you'll want to take that into account whenever you're moving.
So have I noticed that, Jerome?
Mm-hmm.
I was already heavy. So how I was 350 pounds because of my density. What did that bump up to roughly?
You're probably a little bit above 420. It's not like a colossal amount, but it's noticeable.
Right. Okay. Yes, I have noticed the additional effort needed to basically move. But I'm curious to see, based on my natural constitution, that if I can sustain damage to the nanites, to what equivalency, or even possibly greater.
I see. They could be affording you a greater degree of resiliency, especially if you use them properly with your shape-changing ability. They are designed to automatically replace themselves if they do wear out or get destroyed. That way they stay and maintain your physical form. Let me know if you need any assistance with needing to tune them or change them in any way.
I would like to see if they can. Now, can I manipulate my body shape anymore, or am I pretty much just? Oh, okay, so I can.
Yeah.
I am wondering, as I said, if this may actually potentially take the place of my uniform for protective purposes. And I have decided I may do this, and I modify my chest with the symbol of the legacy.
Okay. Oh.
Interesting. It is possible that they may be resilient to damage, especially if you are able to coordinate with them again with your body as it is. You have that quality that no one else in this world seems to have. We can test that with greater regularity, especially once we get back to Strongford. But for the time being, our new brother has woken up earlier. He does seem to be well. I wanted to introduce all of you to him. He's still in his room sleeping. At the same time, I have actually received word from Quantum Unlimited that my presence is needed. There's a super-powered being who's arrived who is helping with the threat in town and is asking for our assistance for some reason.
let me know, and I will prepare the ship. Or shall I do so now?
Brittany, it seems like you're muted somehow because I can't hear you. Maybe physically from your actual headset. Can anybody else hear?
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Because now it shows her actually muted right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So then,
Nope, still can't hear you.
Nothing.
Do your earbuds have a little mute button on them?
still can't hear you.
Nope. Why don't you take it off of NVIDIA or hop out of the chat?
Okay, all right.
Now when she comes back, if we can hear her, just all of us just start talking, but don't.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
No.
That would be super frustrating.
Right.
Come back and we're like,
Look at sweetie, come on. Oh,
So he goes, so Hyperion goes, well, for the time being, let me all take you to his bedside. That way I can introduce you to him. I've already spoken to him a slight bit last night. Afterwards, I'll need to be teleported back to Quantum Unlimited so that I can meet with this individual at least. So he goes ahead and gathers the group, walks them over to Red Arsenal's room.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Yay!
Huzzah! Yeah, so what I said was they asked for Legacy to help.
No. Apparently, specifically individuals and the leader of Quantum Unlimited. They haven't made mention of the legacies, as far as what the security officer was saying.
How strange.
At any rate, let me go ahead and take you all to Red Arsenal's room, introduce you. At that point, shown if you'd be able to teleport me directly into my office at Quantum Unlimited, I can act like I've been there.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Shelly, if you're talking.
Yeah, same here.
Same.
Super same.
Hope she's there. I haven't heard from her in a while.
Yeah, she's there. Just she has stuff muted on her side apparently.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, we can't see her. We can't hear
Right.
her.
Yeah. No, I know.
Right.
Maybe we're just live and she's stepped away.
Maybe. So anyway, yeah. So again, Hyperion's gonna lead everybody to Red Arsenal's room.
And I would imagine Red Arsenal is up
Sure.
and probably watching. What day is it?
Days of Our Lives.
Well, I was going to say like Saturday morning cartoons in New Prussia, but I don't know if it's Saturday.
No, it's not. It's a weekday.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the news. The
Okay.
morning news.
That works.
Yeah. And so I guess when everybody comes in, he'll like turn around. It's like Hyperion and hi guys.
Red Arsenal, I'd like you to meet the team as it is right now. We have Lightbringer, Xenofreeze, and Shun.
hello.
Hi. Whoa. what's up with you? And he'll like point to like Ixion.
You'll find that several of us have
My
varying
weight.
backgrounds.
Okay.
It's a bit of a long story. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better. I got a new arm apparently, and he'll like show the arm. Uh, so I guess we're family.
You heard about that, huh?
Yeah, I guess the legacy is all of Electrum's kids from across the world.
Now, just so you are aware, that is not something that's publicly known.
Oh, okay.
So you'll want to play that close to the vest. There are certain individuals like Ms. McCall and President Albrecht who are in the know, but the general public certainly doesn't know. And most of our uh, alter egos are also not known.
Oh, yeah. About alter egos, my I guess government name.
I mean, don't feel like you need to share it if that's that's a big you don't know us. That's a big level of trust.
I
So
mean, yeah, I understand. But I guess you should know anyway, because even if you know something should happen, my name is Isaiah.
okay, nice to meet you. Welcome. Sorry about the tough first day on the job.
It's yeah. Well, it's all right. I mean, I'm glad you guys are safe and have family now for the first
And
time. Like,
thanks for the assist.
yeah, no problem. So you guys just go around saving people.
More or less how it
It's pretty
works.
awesome.
It's a little more complicated than that usually, but I think
Oh,
that's the idea.
We perform actions to protect the innocent and others based on a generous moral compass.
okay. Um, so would you guys know, like, do you guys know who your mothers are?
Yes.
Hmm, okay.
Do you?
No. Um,
Oh,
when Miss when I showed up at Quantum Unlimited to get a job there, Miss McCall said that my name was apparently in a little black book or something, and it had my foster family on it, and it had me, but nothing about my mother, and I guess my dad is Electrum. So
yeah.
I I don't know. It's like you move forward one, you go back two. It's like I found you guys, but now I don't know who my mom is,
Well, we can
and
help
I
you try
guess
and figure some of that out.
Electrum is missing.
Yeah. Um,
Ugh.
as far as we know, nobody's really seen him for the last several years.
Hmm.
So that's another thing that's not publicly known is that he's MIA, and it's important that that doesn't get definitively um, leaked either.
Okay. So what happens now?
Now we work to regroup. We catch you up to speed. If you do choose to actually join us in our endeavors, we decide how much information we share, and we return to our base, the Vein. You'll see how we operate there, what's available, and what we do. We also need to regroup and understand what we need to do from here on out. We have made some mistakes, but we have had successes as well. We need to make sure that we can continue on a better trajectory, especially with what has apparently been happening in Strongford. And he turns to the others and says, I've been told that something has been happening in Strongford. There was some sort of attack there recently. It seems to be why the individual is wanting to speak to me at Quantum Unlimited. Speaking of which, I need to make an appearance there. So if you'll excuse me, if it takes you time to get ready, I should be back within the next hour or so. I'll contact you all if it'll take longer.
Okay.
All right.
Then he turns and heads out with Shone, or he'll go and find the people who can teleport him to where he wants to go.
Okay, well, we'll assume that it was with Shown that even
Okay.
though for some reason Shelly has dropped off, so
Yeah, okay,
I don't know what's going on there. But she was there for that scene, so.
cool.
So they would take you outside to some place that was given permission to teleport in and out of, and she would then teleport back to your office at Quantum Unlimited.
Sweet.
Carmen's going to make sure that Isaiah gets some breakfast.
Yum, let's go. What do they have here?
We don't have to play through that. I don't remember.
I want waffles.
Sauerkraut. No.
Prussian
Oh.
pancakes.
Russian pancakes?
Or is it Prussian pancakes?
Oh,
Prussian
Prussian
pancake.
pancake.
There you
Yeah.
go.
For the alliteration.
Don't forget the P.
I'll take a Prussian pancake.
They are made of potato.
Oh no.
I don't know what they make it. I don't know what they make pancakes out of in Prussia.
Potato.
Potato. So, at any rate, you go back, you exit out of your office. You can see that Aegis Foundation security has kind of encircled him and are just waiting around for you to show back up.
Okay. And I, of course, like, while in the office, like, use the, watch to change back into, like, normal attire and all that. So then I walk up to the guy. Hello there. My name is Mark Annette, founder and president of Quantum Unlimited. What brings you to our establishment?
What was your name again? Mark
Mark Annette.
Unat. Okay. And I'll kind of stand at attention. I'll say, I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Unet. I'm sure, as you probably know, there was an attack on your in the city earlier today that I, with the help of the Southwest All Stars, thwarted. But it concerns it concerns an entity, or it concerns creatures called recorders that are allied with or that are remnants of something called like Dexamite. And I was pointed in your direction in possibly receiving aid in locating and destroying these entities.
I see. Can I ask who directed you to us?
It would be hard to explain, but let's just say they have a very big world view, and I was instructed that Quantum Unlimited would be the best place to get the technology that I require in order to root out and discover the nesting place of these recorders.
I see. Well, do you have a sample or anything from one of these recorders?
I do, and I'll kind of bring out the piece.
So, George, as you're bringing that out, you hear the voice in your head, Protector, this individual is not human.
All right, and before I like fully extend it out, I'll kind of like look at you quizzically and be are we still in the lobby, or are we in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna kind of look at the guards. I'm gonna kind of look back at you. Can I activate my thermal vision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
Just roll your intuition.
Uh-oh. Don't make me roll. You won't like me when I roll.
Hulk vision.
Oh, hey, what do you know? Yellow.
Nice. Okay.
When I can see, is sure.
Yep. So you look him over, and you are, if there's one thing you are skilled at, is looking at other people. That's really the only way you're able to test out your thermal vision initially. That or at night, like, okay, where's the hot spot? You know, the easy stuff. He is not quite registering like you would for a human as far as a heat signature is concerned. It's different. It's close, but it's definitely different.
Okay.
Cue the Joker quote. Wait till they get a load of me.
So if I see you like hesitate and look around, then Mark's going to be like, "Is everything all right?" And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm gonna kind of turn back to him. I'll say, you can call me Pulsar. Forgive my trepidation. I just realized something that might be important to note. Before I hand this over to you, like kind of, I'm gonna say, like, would it be all right if we spoke privately first?
So then he looks around at the others, and he looks at him, and let's see here. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be like, is there a reason why we need to speak privately? I thought you needed help with these recorders.
I do, but just as you want to verify that I am like that I am that I have the best interest of the world and the galaxy at heart, I also want to make sure that, I want to suss you out in a similar manner, if that makes sense. I apologize if this is rude, but I feel the question I want to ask you is something that I should ask you privately, so that way I don't step on your toes if possible.
All right, then. We can speak in a nearby conference room. And he looks to the nearby Aegis agents and goes, "If you'd be willing to stand outside the door while we speak."
Of course, sir.
"Follow me, Pulsar." He goes ahead and walks over to one of the nicer conference rooms that isn't taken up right now, opens the door for him, lets him in, makes sure the agents are there, and then closes it, makes sure all of the blinds are like closed and all of that, steps away from the door and over to the table, and he stays standing. He doesn't bother to sit at the table. And he stands there and says, "All right, we are secure here. What was it that you needed to say or determine privately?"
And Pulsar is also like standing. He's not going to take a seat, but
Okay.
He'll kind of like look you up and down, and he'll say, the thing that I noticed during our conversation, You're not quite human, are you?
You have ways of detecting beyond the visual, then I take it. What is it you saw?
Your body heat is not quite what I expect from a normal person's.
Protector, I am told that the appropriate terminology to hear used is that you have the sight beyond sight.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to clue him in too much into what's going on. I want to be. Yeah. Thanks for the input. Are the Thundercats canon in this world?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay, that's a relief.
All's right, the world. It's got fun
Yeah.
Thundercats.
Yeah, crazy alien robots, but Thundercats. Okay, we can do this. The world is savable. But yeah, I'll say yeah, your body temperature or your body's heat signature doesn't quite read like a person's. Before I hand this over to you, I want to just affirm that I am not giving over something to a creature that might be allied with the recorders or the Dexamites, if that makes sense.
I see.
But I hope this is a show of good faith, is that I didn't want to bring this up in front of your staff if the nature of this secret is something that you would prefer they not know. I don't know how much they know about you, but I wanted to at least be polite before I, started asking these kind of questions.
Thank you for your candor and for your caution. I appreciate that. And yes, you are correct that the rest of my staff are not aware of what you've been able to detect. As far as the Dexamites, how did you learn about them?
The the purpose that I've been charged with is to protect the galaxy from a greater threat. And at the moment, they are the greater threat. These entities called recorders they've been spotted as far south as Amarillo, Texas, and they've been abducting people to experiment, but also to genetically monitor the human race. And in order to safeguard and protect the people of this world, the recorders need to be stopped.
Well, I do like where your convictions lie. I wonder, who exactly do you work for, if anyone? Who gives you the charge to be a protector of Earth and the galaxy? Are you from Earth?
I am human. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am. This is this is something hard to explain, but I have been chosen, if that makes sense.
I see. So some other organization or entity has chosen you as a protector. Are they the ones who gave you your powers?
Right.
I see. Well then, what information or assistance exactly do you need then with regard to these recorders?
So the attack the attack that happened earlier today, there's still much to learn about the recorders in terms of how they store their information, what they're like, where they're even coming from. But with this piece that I tore from the chest of one of them, uh, I've been informed that with the proper technology, I could scan it and possibly learn where they're nesting and where they're coming from. Uh, it is my mentors informed me that they appear to be subterranean, that their lair is deep in the ground, and that plate tectonics have made it especially. Maybe they've always been hidden, but a shift in tectonics have made it to where they're now able to funnel out from somewhere. But I honestly, I'm still very new to this, but I need help. And he'll set the little chunk of it down on the table.
Okay. He takes a look at it and like picks up the chunk. Like, how heavy is it, and like what does it feel like and stuff?
Feels like metal.
Okay.
And the chunk itself is, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the range of 10 to 15 pounds.
Okay. He's taking a look at it. Does there seem to be any wiring or anything like that, or is it just a chunk of metal?
Yeah, it's a chunk of metal that came off of the recorder.
Okay. Interesting. We can run a spectral analysis on it to see what it's made of, and then see if we can locate that substance elsewhere. It doesn't seem to have any of the advanced technology within it, just the hull or a piece of its covering. Well, we can take a look into this. It may take a little bit of time for me to get answers for you. Is there some way I can contact you when I have that for you?
Sure. I have to say, it sounds like you're not too unfamiliar with this technology. From the way you've spoken about it and from the way you're reacting to it, I can kind of tell you seem pretty familiar, or this doesn't seem like the first time you've seen it.
I haven't seen this material specifically, but being the owner and operator of advanced technology firm, I'm sure you can understand I'm privy to seeing much technology in developmental states and completed states from throughout the industry. And you may have heard that we have had run-ins and dealings specifically with superpowered beings. So, well, yeah, let me take a look at this and see what I can find. Beyond that, was there anything else you needed?
Um, I will say, so you said that you've worked with superpowered entities in the past.
That's correct. We even employ some here at Quantum Unlimited, specifically for that. We are trying to determine the exact nature of powers and see if they can be helped with those individuals, or if we can even produce technology that emulates those powers.
Okay. Uh, I feel like I have a lot of questions, but maybe they're not as pertinent now. How long do you think it would take to analyze this?
I should have information for you by tomorrow. You actually have caught me at a crucial time. I had to be pulled away from a meeting with some of my department heads. Not to shoo you away or anything, but I'm a busy man. I can go ahead and make sure to actually analyze this, and I'll oversee that personally to make sure it gets the greatest care. I don't want my home city to be ravaged by these recorders. I appreciate that you're here and you helped. Again, is there any way I can contact you? Are you staying anywhere for the time being?
I don't think I've secured any place to stay for now, but if you like, I can just return tomorrow.
Excellent. If you're able to come back at 8 a.m. local time tomorrow, I'll meet you here in the lobby.
All right, 0800. Sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you, Pulsar. And he reaches out his hand to shake Pulsar's hand.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll reach out his hand as well, and
Yeah.
he'll shake it.
All right. Then Mark will go ahead and open the door to the conference room and escort Pulsar out.
Alrighty.
And then he will thank the Aegis guards. He's going to pocket that piece of metal and head back into his office so he can change back into Hyperion and then have he and Shone teleport back to New Prussia.
Okay. So, bamf, bamf. Come back into the small corridor that they allowed you, they left open to allow you to come in and out. Here you go. And there you go.
Goes ahead and returns to the group wherever they're at this point.
So, presuming you guys, because this didn't take all that long, you guys are probably still, actually, they were checking on Red Arsenal. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say we are having breakfast in Isaiah's room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah. Then Hyperion and Shone will walk back in. Well, it seems that there's a new superhero at Strongford. He goes by the name of Pulsar. And he has found and it was battling robotic beings called recorders that have shown up in different locations, especially in the United States, but now also in Strongford.
Does that ring a bell for my interstellar knowledge? No? Okay.
He apparently has information from whatever organization he works with that it seems that these recorders are tied to Dexamites and their civilization from thousands of years ago. He had a piece of material that he took from one of the recorders, and he pulls out the piece of metal and sets it on a table. No specific technology, but I am not sure what metal it's made out of. I think we should analyze it here using New Prussian instruments and determine what it is. I promised him I'd give him an update on what it is tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Strongford time.
Does this look like anything that I've ever seen?
looks like a chunk of metal, and you've seen plenty of those.
Hyperion, what's a Dexamite?
Dexamites. Yes, you're going to be learning much about not just our world and history, but different worlds and galactic history as far as we know it now. As you've already heard, we all share the same father. It appears that our father himself was not human, or at least not completely. He was at least partially, if not completely, Dexamite. They are a race of beings that existed thousands of our years ago and apparently had an empire that spanned the galaxy. Extremely advanced technology, the works. In fact, each of them seemed to be a superpowered being in and of themselves. Think of Electrum, but an entire race of these beings. However, at some point during their expansion, their society and republic and empire collapsed. At one point, it seems that Electrum was the only Dexamite remaining, and he chose to stay on Earth for whatever reason.
So we're not human?
Well, we're part human. Some of us.
Speaking of which, how much do you know about your history? You did mention that you had foster parents.
Yeah. I don't know anything. You guys are like all I know. And Miss McCall was the one that said, you guys are, we're all related. So
Wait, so do you remember your foster family?
Oh yeah, they live
Oh,
in Strongford. Yeah, they live in Strongford. We don't see eye to eye. So we're kind of like separate at the
distant.
moment. Yeah, distant. Um, I when I started, I guess what would be the right term? Showing my powers. I would. They didn't take too kindly to that, so
I see.
Yeah.
it was the relationship got icy really quick. So yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah.
Well,
You had foster family too?
I was ousted, and I can relate to the icy aspect.
Okay.
Isaiah,
Mhm.
it's probably better that you know this information sooner rather than later. I see no reason why we would keep it from you, especially now that you know some of your history and that you're related to us through our father. It would appear that there's something different about you. And he goes over to one of the medical pads that has like his information on it, and he brings up like some of the genetic information, and he walks over to Red Arsenal and stands next to him and holds it up so that he can see it. I'm not sure how much you know about genetics or science in general, but as you can see on the right, would be a typical genetic pattern for a human being, even those who possess the deviant mutation. But on the left, and he moves information over and shows like a different strain that looks weird. This
Okay.
is your genetic
doing that.
structure. You do not possess a human genome. From what we can tell, you are a hybrid of Dexamite from her father and a race known as the Alanor. And he looks to Xenofreeze.
Wait, so I'm not even from this planet?
Since does he look space elfish?
No. Well, kind of thin, but other than that, no pointy ears.
My. Is he very pasty white? Out of character looking
I
at him.
no.
No?
Does he look like Orlando Bloom?
Yes.
Nice.
Takes after his mother, apparently.
All right. I will be right back. I need to put my son down real quick.
Right.
Go ahead.
Just real quick.
So oh, okay. All right. So Electrum's my dad, and I guess I'm not human. So my mom is on another planet, and so how did I end up here?
That is an excellent question. We unfortunately don't have that information as of yet. We'll do what we can to find that out as time goes on, but for the time being, I wanted you to know that your genetics are different. That's actually why we had such a difficult time actually healing you. It seems that Dexamite genetics can actually combine with the genetics of many other races with relative ease, but the combination isn't always stable. If there's some sort of trauma that person endures, it's possible that they will go haywire with regard to their natural abilities and any superpowers they possess. For you, your regeneration quality was beginning to over regenerate on almost a cellular level throughout your entire body. We needed to use a nanite serum to actually reduce that activity so that you could actually heal properly. For Xenofreeze, being not of this earth either, he needed a similar treatment for him to regain his composure, since he was exposed to a type of radiation earlier that actually damaged his form and genetics.
So he'll turn to Xenofreeze. You're Alinar too, then?
No, I am what is known as a Salanth. I am a. My natural form looks something
Liquidius.
like this, and I just literally just, and then I come back.
The secret of the world of Alex Mack.
Ooh. You're liquid. You're like water.
Not quite. Much denser. I am as close to what would be comparable on this world to liquid mercury, but my consistency has been slightly altered due to the recent happenings. You were dismembered, and in essence, so was I. I was in multiple parts, and only recently was I rejoined with the rest of my mass.
Emotional damage.
Wow, that's
It's been a rough couple of days.
yeah. What were they doing in the prison that they were separating you?
Keeping me alive. An Ubari who ended up inadvertently being a friend, so to speak, aided in keeping me alive during that time.
We tried to find him, by the way, but at the time that we escaped, it seemed that all the Yubari were locked down. We couldn't spare the time to look for them.
Do you guys have any knowledge on Alinar, on the Alinar, or other alien races?
I have quite a bit of information available. Perhaps when we get back to my lab, I can upload some information for you to research and read.
All right, let's go.
Out of character. Hop in my spaceship.
All right.
Red Arsenal.
Beam me up, Ixion.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, he'll kind of like look for medical staff. Like, am I good to go then? Because I'm okay. I'm walking around. I'm conscious. Apparently, I'm not human.
The medical technician at this point just says, we're waiting for the doctor to give the okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shelly, I heard something.
Heard something, Shelly.
Yeah, it's very faint.
Try again.
Testing 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, hearing you. Yep.
Hearing you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm having to use my other mic. For some reason, I broke my head.
Ooh, you're coming in broken.
I think I hurt my computer and stuff.
Damn. Sorry,
Okay.
we've had such weird tech issues today.
That's right.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Yay.
Mucho bettero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many
Awesome.
betters.
Okay.
Welcome. Welcome to the game.
Yay.
Thank you. I mean, only spent half of it trying to fix my sound issues.
Right. So then Hyperion goes ahead and sees if he can find the doctor that's responsible for taking care of him to see if he can get a clean bill of health to go.
in what I've been trying to tell Red Arsenal is that she's not human either.
You're uh, you're not human either. Is anybody human here? Okay.
She points at Carmen.
Okay. All right. Well,
Well, technically, all but Hyperion, all of us have some portion of humanity genetically
I thought
due to our patron.
I thought he was Dexamite though.
But he is also something else. We assume to be human.
Oh, okay.
Well, we understand that the deviant gene on Earth is related to the Dexamite gene. So many generations have passed it along.
But Sean and I, we get that gene specifically from our father, because we are not from this
planet
area.
Yeah.
I'm actually from a different dimension, reality.
There's other realities now? I just learned about aliens.
I'm what you would call Egyptian. You know, like raw.
I know a little bit.
Yeah, those are my people.
She's like, I dated him. He's a jerk.
He's my uncle. No. Yeah, no, my mom was an Egyptian goddess.
You're a deity from another dimension?
Half.
Wow. Man, Electron really gets around. What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Yeah. You know about New Prussia, right?
It is. Yeah, it's a state in Europe.
You know that's where we are right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I met with the president. Tall dude.
He is. Yes, he is. He is also my grandfather on my mother's side.
So you're Prussian royalty?
I only learned about it like last year. Um, he and my mother had a falling out, and some of it was over Electrum.
Oh.
But just that is public knowledge that Lightbringer is the granddaughter of Reich Shield, but the rest not so much.
Okay. So basically, don't say anything.
It's safer that way.
Okay.
We are like this superhero Jerry Springer show. Like, seriously.
You are not kidding.
So
more like Maury Povich.
Yes.
You,
yes.
You
are the father.
You are the father. Another woman walks out. Another person.
Every episode is Electrum.
Yeah.
So, do I still have a job at Quantum Unlimited? I haven't shown up in a couple of days.
At this point, has Hyperion managed to find the doctor so he can come back? Okay.
Well, neither have we. So I think you're okay.
We could probably talk to the boss for you.
You guys know the boss?
Yeah.
We are executive or corporate management.
Wow.
Well then,
Well,
I just wanted to help like build stuff. This is more than I could have ever dreamed.
you did step into an interesting situation. How are you feeling right now? You seem to be very cognizant compared to a few hours ago.
Yeah, let's go. Come on. I want to read up on aliens.
So he turns to the doctor and sees if he's good to go.
I mean, the doctor. I was trying to see if I could, because I was positive I had a name for him, but I can't find that particular note. I need to organize my notes for this game a little bit better, I think. But he says, I mean, given the fact that you're the one that worked on the cybernetics, and Lightbringer was the one that dealt with most of the initial medical treatment, I feel comfortable releasing him into your care, if that's what you're asking.
Excellent. Yes, thank you, doctor. Well then,
so am I taking us all home then?
unless there's anything else that we need to accomplish here at the moment.
We should
Yeah.
probably make our goodbyes.
Oh yes, I should probably thank the president for the hospital and everything.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry.
You're just not right.
It's nothing new. Ask Jerome. This is a 30-year 30-year process, still processing.
Still processing.
I am willing to take my ride by myself if you wish, unless, can you transport my vehicle the whole way, Sean?
I
I don't,
maybe.
because I didn't think out of character. I didn't think you were able to transport the ship itself. No.
I haven't tried, so I don't know.
Let's not try.
So I guess another question I have is, what are your guys' powers?
Well, we can
You'll
go
see-
over that later.
You'll see that soon enough.
Okay.
We'll be taking Xenofreeze's ship back to Strongford, and we'll actually land at our base, the Vane. You'll see what it's like there.
Okay.
You have a yacht?
Not exactly.
Something like that.
Oh.
I love that we're gonna have to do this again very, very soon.
Yeah.
My name is
The whole-
Mark. My name is Mark O'Nett. I own a mansion and a yacht. My name is Mark J. O'Nett, millionaire. I own a mansion and a yacht. Let's give him the Elmer Fudd persona.
You're right.
Yes.
All right.
All right, well, let's go.
So then the decision's made. Everybody's flying back to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to go through our goodbyes with Jurgen.
Sure.
We can
Got it.
just hand wave that.
Peace.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. And so that's what we're going to stop for the night. You guys are making your way back and have landed back in the Vane with Xenofreeze's ship.
You own a spaceship?
You own
Yes,
a secret base?
Yeah. Well, no, he's actually already been here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And along the way, I allow you to read up on the Olinar.
There you go.
Nice.
Reading material for the flight.
Sure. There you go.
Which
It's just the
in character,
Silmarillion.
it's a quick summary, and I can read it so that way the listeners can hear it also. Essentially, space elves with almost bleached white skin, pointed ears, and often dark-colored hair. Cultural tattoos are also common. While not a major galactic race, they are known for being exceptional hunters. Most of their worlds are Arctic climates. Their culture is one of high-tech tribalism, with their leader holding the rank of Octal, or Grand Chief. It translates to the Chief of Chiefs.
So they're like Romulans.
Sounds like it.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Very cool.
I know
Very
the
nice.
Romulans for their ships. That's about it.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to stop. Next game, of course, is next week. That is Street Fighter and Cyberpunk. That is going to be on Wednesday and Thursday of next week, both at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I can't wait for Cyberpunk.
And then we will be back again. We do have a convention coming up here soon, but I don't know when that's going to fall in the schedule. I'll try to announce that ahead of time when I get a chance to take a look at it. But then on the 26th and 27th is probably where we will be back with this particular game and Vampire the Masquerade. So thank you. Man, it's been a long night. So thank you guys all for tuning in and saying hi and chatting with us. Thank you for the subs. And you guys have a good one. Good night, guys.
Night.
Night, guys. Peace.